Hello guys, this is Isis Priestess. Okay, I wanted to touch on a topic that was actually based on a video I had watched, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. Um, he did a video about knowing your deities or knowing your gods, in other words, knowing your shit. And he said that near the end of the video, he said that. And I kind of wanted to do a video about it. First and foremost, I really do agree with everything he said in that video. The big problem is people don't listen. Um, a lot of videos out there, they talk about spells and sabbats and altars, like there are different things like that. But they don't touch on mythology. Now you can pick up any New Age metaphysical book out there. Speaking of metaphysical, I'm going to a shop this coming Thursday. Um, I'm going to one mainly because I haven't been to one in 9 years, and also I kind of want to see the rest of the city, and I kind of want to see what other businesses are selling. So it's kind of a, getting out there and finally seeing what else is out there besides your little corner of the city. So, anyways, mythology. It's important to have a foundation in mythology. It's important to understand um, the mythology of the god and goddess that you happen to honor. And we're not talking about Joe Gardner's version of mythology. I'm talking about scholarly mythology. I'm talking about the stories that have survived the Christian persecutions and things like that. Those kinds of mythologies. Um, and the thing that gets me is that people, they buy these New Age metaphysical books, they read the um, the author's interpretations of the Morga and of Isis and of Horus and of Thoth and of um, Dagda and all that, and they assume that the mythologies that they're getting, or even the small little bits of information they're getting, is the whole thing, and it is not the whole thing. Um, and also, I'm gonna say this: not every pantheon falls under the Wicca umbrella. You can force it to fall under it, but I think that you're doing the deity a disservice. Um, that's my own personal opinion. Um, so when I talk about Isis being vindictive and cunning and treacherous, I don't want people to take it the wrong way. I'm not saying that she's an evil goddess or anything like that, but I'm citing the mythology. I'm citing what she did to become supreme sorceress. Um, and it also ties in with the changing of the importance of a god. In particular, the Old Kingdom, Ra was extremely important, and then the mythology of Isis or Aset, um, taking dirt and mixing it with saliva from Ra and leaving it for Ra to find, and then he animated it and it bit him, um, and the sun just went out. And Isis said, or Aset said, that she could not cure him unless she had his secret name. And he finally handed it to her, or he finally gave it to her, and she was able to cure him, and he left the throne, and Osiris and Isis took over, and then of course Osiris and Isis lost prominence, and Amun Ra took over. So it's important to read the mythology. It's important to understand the symbolism um, in these mythologies, because if you don't understand the mythology, you're just stuck with an author's interpretation of that particular deity. It is really annoying to pick up a book and say, oh, Sekhmet was the lion head goddess, of Egypt, and whatever little bit of information, and then you're saying, well, how, well, okay, how did she get this way? Um, no one asked this question. Nobody asked, why is Sekhmet the lion-headed goddess? What function did she play in Egyptian mythology? Nobody does that. They just write these little bits and they sell it to mass media, and mass media like consumes it. For me, the story of Sekhmet is that she was, not to say she was known as Mut, and then she came down and transformed to Sekhmet and went on a killing spree, and then she was finally tricked to drinking beer that was dyed red, and she became placid and she became Bast. Another story is Hathor came down and assumed the form of Sekhmet, and she, same thing, she went out there, she killed a bunch of people, got into a bloodlust. Ra had to trick her, and and she became Bast. And then, of course, later on, Bast and Sekhmet became two separate deities. Um, it is important, like I said, important to understand this. Why is Kali? Why does Kali look the way that she does? Read the story about Kali. I know there's an Indian picture company that did these little TV shows. Um, you can't understand dang freaking word they say, but it helps you understand the mythology. Um, what about the Morga? Um, you know, um, the Morga, um, Rihanna, Rihanna, Set. I know there's somebody that made a comment, well, isn't Set as chaotic as a Pep? No, they're two separate things, two separate entities. It just, it really, it, I'm going to say this, I cannot emphasize this strongly to have a good mythological foundation. Because, yes, candle correspondences and herbs and crystals and astrological correspondences and planetary hours and planetary days of the week, yes, they're important if you happen to practice Wicca. I don't practice Wicca. I haven't practiced Wicca in a long time. Um, but it's something that I like to impress upon the importance of this. And I know I probably repeat myself over and over again, and I'm really sorry about it. But it's more than just it's more than just picking up a book and reading a little bit about the attributes of that particular goddess or god, buying herbs connected to her or incense connected to her, and and have her aid you in what you're doing. Um, it's more than that. It's sitting down, reading a book, and understanding her mythology, understanding all of the mythology, and this is what happens after you pick out a pantheon. If you say, "Oh, I like the Egyptian pantheon," then go to your local store. No, sorry, go to your local library, get a book of Egyptian mythology, and read and suck in that knowledge. And then once you're done reading that book, you go back, return it, pull out another book. And this way, when you believe that you have learned all you can about the mythologies, then you can go and pick up a New Age metaphysical book, um, cater to whatever path you're going on, and read the author's interpretation of that particular goddess or god, and see if it meshes with the scholarly work. And even if you're not interested in Reconstructionism, it's something that I definitely would recommend. And then you can decide if you're going to go with the scholarly evidence or you're going to go with someone else's evidence. And to be absolutely honest, I'd rather choose scholarly over anyone else's. But it's all part of learning. You learn about candles, you learn about herbs, you learn about stones, you learn about planetary days of the week, and most of all, you learn about the mythology. All those are important stepping stones. All of those are important, and mythology, from a scholarly view, should not be overlooked. Okay, so if I talk too fast, I'm sorry. I really am. I kind of want to get this done. I will be back tomorrow with a book review. Um, and yeah, so I'll see you guys around. Hope you guys have a wonderful remainder of your week. And I personally can't wait till April gets here because April means last full week, not last full week, but last full month before we start seeing warm weather. So I'll see you guys around. Bye. And may Isis watch over you.